You know, it's funny how we've ended up here, isn't it? Me, your girlfriend, about to guide you into some weird, uncharted territory. But trust me, this will be unlike anything you've ever experienced. You don't have to take it seriously. Just think of it as another one of our little adventures, where we never quite know what's going to happen next. So, I want you to do something for me. Just this once. Or don't, if you're feeling stubborn. But if you're up for it, close your eyes, or keep them open. It really doesn't matter. Just listen to my voice, or maybe tune it out, if that's what you feel like doing. Either way, something's happening. You can feel it, can't you? The world around you is starting to blur, almost as if reality itself is being gently smudged by some invisible hand. It's like everything is becoming soft around the edges, like a dream that's just starting to take shape. You and I, we're stepping into this dream together, hand in hand. Maybe you can feel it, maybe you can't, but there's a peculiar sensation in your body. It's as if gravity has decided to play a game with you, gently tugging at your limbs, making you wonder if you're actually sitting here or floating in some other dimension. Your body becomes light and heavy at the same time. What a paradox. Now let's take a journey, but not a normal one. There's no staircase, no elevator, no typical path. Instead, imagine you're standing in front of a door. This door is strange, otherworldly. Maybe it's made of something you can't quite identify. Liquid metal, shifting and shimmering in ways that don't make sense. Or maybe it's an ancient door with runes etched into it, glowing faintly, as if they hold some forgotten secret. Notice the sounds around you, sounds that are familiar but feel distant, like they're coming from a world you're gradually leaving behind. They're fading, aren't they? Like echoes from a dream you can barely remember. You don't have to open the door, but if you do, you might find yourself stepping into a world that doesn't follow the rules. A world where the ground beneath you might be solid one moment, and then turn into a pool of ink the next, swallowing you up, pulling you down into a place where up is down, left is right, and time doesn't quite behave as it should. And as you sink into this ink, you might feel your thoughts becoming like bubbles, rising slowly to the surface, popping gently as they reach the air. Each bubble contains a thought, an idea, a memory. And as they pop, they dissolve, leaving your mind empty, blank, and wonderfully quiet. And now, as you find yourself sinking deeper into that inky world, let's explore what lies beyond. You're floating, or maybe you're sinking. It's hard to tell, isn't it? But you don't need to figure it out. Just let yourself be in this strange, paradoxical space. In this quiet, strange place, your mind is open to all possibilities. Here, logic and reason take a back seat. Instead, the impossible becomes possible. The improbable becomes reality. And your subconscious mind, free from the constraints of the ordinary world, begins to explore new pathways, new ideas. You might find that in this place, changes happen without effort. Old habits dissolve, new ones form, and you don't even need to understand how or why. Your subconscious just knows. It understands things that your conscious mind doesn't, and it's working right now to bring about the changes you need. Notice how everything around you seems to shift and change. One moment, you're in a dense forest, the trees towering above you, their branches weaving a canopy that blocks out the sky. The next moment, you're standing on a beach, the waves lapping gently at your feet, the horizon stretching out endlessly before you. But there's something odd about this beach. The sand is not sand at all. It's soft, like velvet, and when you touch it, it hums with a quiet, soothing vibration. As you walk along this velvet shore, you can feel each step resonating through your entire body, grounding you, even as your mind drifts further away. The waves whisper secrets, words you can't quite catch, but they leave behind a sense of calm, of knowing deep within you. You keep walking, and the scenery changes again. Now, you're in a vast desert, the air thick with the heat of the sun, but it's not uncomfortable. It's like the warmth of a blanket, wrapping around you, making you feel safe. The desert stretches out in every direction, endless dunes rising and falling like waves frozen in time. But instead of feeling lost, you feel strangely at home, as if this desert knows you and you know it. In the distance, you see something shimmering. A mirage, perhaps. Or maybe it's something real, something waiting for you to discover it. As you approach, the mirage solidifies into a structure, an ancient temple, half buried in the sand. Its walls are covered in symbols you don't recognize, but they seem familiar, as if they've been etched into your mind long before you were ever aware of them. You step inside, and the air is cool, refreshing. The interior is bathed in a soft, golden light, illuminating the intricate carvings on the walls. Each symbol tells a story, and as you trace your fingers over them, you begin to remember things you've never known. Memories from another time, another place, maybe another life. You walk deeper into the temple, and with each step, you feel yourself becoming more and more detached from the outside world. The light grows dimmer, softer, until you're standing in a chamber lit only by the faint glow of those ancient symbols. In the center of the chamber, there's a pool of water, perfectly still, as if time itself has stopped. You kneel by the pool, and as you gaze into it, you see your reflection, but it's not the reflection you're used to. This version of you is different, wiser, calmer, with a deep understanding that transcends the ordinary. This is the you that exists beyond time, beyond space. The you that knows the answers to questions you haven't even thought to ask. As you watch, your reflection begins to speak, but not with words. It communicates through feelings, impressions, visions. You understand everything, even though nothing is said. And as you listen, you realize that you're being given something, a gift, a piece of knowledge, a new perspective. You don't need to hold on to it tightly. It will stay with you, effortlessly, becoming a part of who you are. After what feels like an eternity, or maybe just a moment, you stand up, feeling lighter, as if a burden you didn't know you were carrying has been lifted. You leave the chamber, the temple, the desert, and find yourself back in that strange, shifting world. But something has changed. Everything looks the same, but you see it differently now, through new eyes. You start to rise, slowly, as if you're being lifted by a gentle current. The ground, the forest, the beach, the desert, they all begin to fade, merging into one another, until they're just a blur of colors and sensations. You're rising higher and higher, until you're no longer in that world at all, but somewhere else, somewhere quiet, peaceful, and still. In this place, there is no need for thoughts, no need for words, just a deep, profound sense of peace, of being exactly where you're meant to be. You float in this peace, letting it wash over you, through you, cleansing away any remaining tension, any last traces of the outside world. And now, slowly, gently, you begin to return. Not all at once. There's no rush. Just let yourself drift back, bringing with you all the calm, all the insights, all the peace that you found. As you rise, notice how your body feels. Still light, still heavy, still perfectly balanced in that paradoxical way. You might start to become aware of the sounds around you again, the faint hum of reality reasserting itself. But this time, it feels different, more distant, as if you're still holding on to that piece of the other world, the one where time doesn't quite behave as it should. And now, I won't count up. There's no need. Just let yourself rise naturally, as if you're being lifted by invisible hands, pulled back to the world you know. But something's different now, isn't it? You've brought a piece of that strange place with you, a tiny fragment of the impossible, nestled in your mind, ready to reveal itself when you least expect it. When you're ready, and only when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Or maybe you'll keep them closed a little longer, savoring this feeling, this connection to something beyond the ordinary. And when you do return fully, you'll find that you've brought a part of that strange, magical place with you. A part that will stay with you, quietly influencing your thoughts, your dreams, your reality.